So it's been a long time since I've done one of these also. Not as extensive as what I used to buy. Usually I'd aim for getting 50 or so individual items in a haul. This is just a pickups video, just, you know, generally what I've picked up over the last few months, and it really isn't a lot. It's just, you know, it's just a reflection on, you know, safe purchasing. You know, I'm cutting down on buying a lot of things lately because obviously I've got a backlog to catch up with. I don't really need to be buying a lot of manga and anime right about now. I've got enough. So I've really cut down my purchases and just been really a lot safer with my money, really, I guess you could say. Obviously I've been on a 3-month hiatus. I've, you know, taken a bit of time out just to kind of reconfigure what I really want to do, you know, in relation to content creating and things like that, which is still something I want to do. You know, the channel isn't really going to change. I don't really have any new plans for it. I'm not going to be, you know, taking anything out or adding anything in unless, you know, I feel it's necessary, or unless it's like a suggestion, and, you know, it's unanimous, you know, for all out of my viewers, you know, that they want me to change something. You know, I'm always obviously always eager, you know, to try out new things, you know, at the suggestion of my subscribers, you guys. But, you know, I've just basically taken a 3-month break because I'd been uploading constantly for maybe 2.5, 3 years. I'd say maybe about 2.5 years, like consistently, maybe a few videos every month. And I just got a bit tired, got a little bit bored. I had a few, you know, life things that I just needed to, you know, kind of prioritize, because obviously I work full time. You know, I don't really have that much time I can dedicate to YouTube because YouTube isn't my career, it's a hobby. But nonetheless, I'm back. It was only an indefinite hiatus. You know, I hadn't, you know, thought the time scale, you know, as to how long I was going to be gone. It could have been 3 months, it could have been 6 months. I wouldn't want to have left it that long though, so I'm glad I'm coming back now, rather than later, because I don't want to leave it too long, because I've got, you know, a few things that I want to catch up on in terms of reviews and series that I do want to talk about, and, you know, just kind of interact more and, you know, kind of, you know, talk on camera, things like that. So this is basically just going to be, like I said, just a few random miscellaneous volumes of series that I've, you know, been collecting. A little bit of anime, a little bit of manga, so let's get started with that show. So in regards to anime, I've literally only bought one thing in the last couple of months, and that was the deal of the week. And that was Usagi Drop, Bunny Drop, by NVM. I'm really looking forward to watching this anime, as I really like the manga for it. It's only 11 episodes, I know it doesn't adapt the entire series, but it's something I'm definitely looking forward to watching. And it's animated by Production IG, I believe. Could be wrong, but I do believe it's Production IG. So yeah, I'm another little slice of life series that I'm, you know, probably going to really enjoy, and I've heard it's really good. Something I recently won in an NVM competition for their 12 Days of Christmas. As a Blu-ray of Captain Earth Part 1 mech series. I know nothing about this, but they were doing basically a simple deal where you retweet, you know, for a chance to win a free copy. And I won this for free, just put in the post like literally a few days ago. I was very, very happy with that. It's the first time I've ever won anything in one of their competitions, and they run the 12 Days of Anime every year, where you're in the running to basically win a free copy of, you know, whatever anime is selected that day in your preferred format. So that was pretty cool. A few more these miscellaneous volumes picked up for £1 because they're out of print. So Twin Spicker, Volume 7. As you can see, I haven't taken the price off, £1. I've got Volume 10 and Volume 12, which I believe is the final volume. I think it's the final volume. Yes, Volume 12, final volume. I've got the first 2 volumes as well, Volume 1 and 2, which I also got for a pretty cheap, like last year. So I'm hoping to collect the entire series and just kind of read through it all in one go. As and when it came out, I got Volume 75 of One Piece, New World. This is an okay arc. So I've kind of given my opinions of what I feel of One Piece, what I think of One Piece after the time skip, and I don't think it's as good as it was before the time skip. Don't get me wrong, I love One Piece. It's still one of my favourite shonen of all time. But I just don't think it's living up to, you know, how good it was before the time skip. I don't know where it is. I don't know if it's you know, there are certain aspects that feel quite repetitive, especially with this arc. This arc is just basically like Alabaster, but just on a more grandiose scale, which is okay, but I just don't like the repetition. So I'm not really enjoying this this Dressrosa arc, if I have to be completely honest. Finally caught up with Berserk, volume 37. I now own all of Berserk. That's released in English, and I'm very happy to say that, because just 2 years ago I only had volume 11 and was thinking of selling it because I had no idea that the series is going to be reprinted, and at that point in time all of the volumes pretty much were out of print and absolutely ridiculous to come by. I mean, Dark Horse manga is pretty expensive, you know, to boot anyway. I mean, these volumes can go for like $10.99 each retail price. Luckily I can get them on like 3 for 2 deals and things like that, but if that reprint had never happened, then I wouldn't have been able to read Berserk. You know, I'm just so fortunate to have, you know, been able to buy all of the volumes and just gradually pick them up as and when they come out. I think there's enough chapters released now to constitute bringing out volume 38. As I read on Wikipedia, like how many tankobon there are, and then it says like how many chapters there are in non-tankobon format. I think there's maybe about 11 or 12 chapters after volume 37. That could basically mean we could maybe expect volume 38, I don't know. You know, I really want to see Guts and company get to Elfhelm, get to the Elf Island, so we can, you know, no spoilers, but you know that if you read Berserk and you're up to date with Berserk, then you know why they're trying to get to Elf Island. I really want them to get there. I want them to hurry up and get there and this be done, so we can kind of go for the final push. Maybe after this Elf Island arc, maybe that will kind of, I don't know, maybe we'll go into like the final arc. You know, Guts and Casca just going at it. I don't know, but we will see. Picked up another volume of Yotsuba, volume 9. This was a fantastic volume. Yotsuba goes to a balloon show, a hot air balloon show, and it's really funny. She also gets a new teddy bear as well, as you can see on the cover there. Oops. It's just so sweet. I absolutely love Yotsuba, and I love the way Koyohika Azuma tells the story. It's just so simple. It's just, you know, a little 6-year-old, 5 or 6-year-old girl just, you know, doing just general, you know, kid things. It should be, the thing is, this should be incredibly boring, but the way it's told, it's so funny and so entertaining and engaging, and you just feel for all of the characters. Each character in this series is just told and developed really well, from Yotsuba to her dad who she lives with, to the next door neighbours, the three sisters and their mum, and just, you know, other secondary characters like, you know, her friends and things like that, you know, just other people you kind of get to meet, and they're just so tightly knit in this, you know, small but really fascinating community, and it's brilliant, and the artwork is just fantastic to boot. I mean, look at the cover, it's very realistic in terms of its backgrounds and things like that. And yeah, just absolutely love Koihuku Azuma's work. I'd love to be able to read more. Finally, coming up to the end of an era, the final volume of Ikigami, The Ultimate Limit, volume 10. Kind of went out with a bang. I was quite surprised at how much I enjoyed this volume, considering that it does wrap up very quickly. As volume 9 didn't really give any clear indication that it was the penultimate volume. It was just, you know, the sort of the same standalone, you know, episodic, you know, chapters, you know, volumes. This volume basically just kind of wraps everything up in a really tight, short, you know, bow tie. It kind of feels like it's been nipped in the bud. I don't know if there's any sort of, you know, issues with serialization or anything like that, and he was told to, you know, wrap it up, but I think for what it was, he did it well. You know, the whole kind of character of Fujimoto here, the main character, his kind of character comes to fruition quite nicely in this volume. I like the direction that it went in. One thing that I was kind of confused with is whether or not this series is actually set in Japan, as there aren't really any clear indications, you know, through, you know, in this volume that state whether or not this is actually in Japan. I always assumed that it was in Japan, given the names and, you know, just the kind of locations and stuff that it's set in. But in this volume, it kind of indicates that it might actually not be set in Japan at all, and might just be a fictional nation, because there's an ambassador from Japan in this volume who's thinking of, she's basically a government personnel from the Japanese government coming to this country that this is set in, because Japan is thinking of adopting the Ikigami law, the National Welfare Act. So that kind of confused me and kind of threw me for a loop, because I always assumed that this series was set in Japan. So that's one thing I didn't like about this volume, is that didn't really make that clear. Didn't really make it clear throughout the entire series whether or not it was actually set in Japan. It was just assumed. But nonetheless, good volume. Also, second volume of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, Phantom Blood. It's okay. I'm only collecting these just for collector's purposes at this point, I feel, as the books themselves aesthetically are very, very good. Very good quality. It's a piece of history. It's set in a time where manga, or battle manga especially, was very centric around very big muscles, very masculine characters and things like that. So it's a very it's a good slice of history. But as for the story and my just general enjoyability of it, I wouldn't really put it in high regard. But that's kind of what people say generally for the first part of JoJo anyway, is that the first arc, the Phantom Blood arc, isn't really that good. And it definitely kind of gets up to speed with Stardust Crusaders, which is part 3. So I'm looking forward to kind of getting over the Phantom Blood arc. I've seen all of the anime Phantom Blood. I just need to kind of move on to Battle Tendency, but I'm not going to watch that in the anime. I'm going to read that in the manga and see if I enjoy that as well, because Battle Tendency is also going to be released with these. I think they're called Georgian or Georgianium volumes or something in Japan. I don't really know. I'd have to ask NZ Anime or something, because he knows more about it than I do. And finally, my manga purchase was Fragments of Horror by Junji Ito. It's a series of short stories. I recently read this within the last couple of weeks. Still maintaining that kind of campiness, that campy horror, but nonetheless, some of the stories are actually genuinely quite creepy. Like a story about a woman who falls in love with a house, and just like it's pretty weird. This dude who gets decapitated, but he needs to continually hold his head on like the stump of his neck. All that there is actually blood dripping down his shirt. So some genuinely creepy stories, but nothing that's truly terrifying. It does still maintain that kind of 80s campness to it that I find in his storytelling generally, like with Uzumaki and probably Gyo as well. I haven't read Gyo yet, but I do know what it's about. But nonetheless, I really do enjoy this, and the artwork is still very, very good. So yeah, they've been my very few pickups for like the last couple of months. I don't know when I'm going to do one next, because I'm not buying any manga lately. I just don't feel the need to. I feel kind of running out of space. So yeah, thanks for watching. Drop me your thoughts in the comment section below. What have you bought this month, or what you're going to be getting for Christmas, in terms of anime and manga. If you've made a video, then just post a link and things like that. Sorry again, or I don't think I've even said sorry, but sorry that I've been away for so long, but I'm back now. So yeah, expect more videos from me in the near future.